This is Jay from Neilson Boxing. I'm here with Amar Kayani. How are you, Amar?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you. How you been? How's everything?
I'm good, thank you. This is the first time having you on, so I thought we'd start with what really got you into boxing.
What got me into boxing is a bit of a funny one, to be honest. Growing up in Slough, it was like the area I live in. I'm not trying to say it's like Brixton or it's really that bad, but it's a lot of trouble here. And like one of the ways to get to, to build a reputation here was to know how to fight. And everyone was always fighting. I didn't want to be one of the guys that got beat up. So I learned to fight a little bit. I used to defend myself, and the school I went to was very quite violent. So I used to stick up for myself, for my friends, and then yeah, from there really, my brothers and dad pushed me, and then since then I never looked back. I just carried on training, got better and better at
Nice. And did you
it.
go into the amateurs?
Yeah, yeah. So I started boxing. Literally, I started boxing quite late. I know kids normally start at like 7, 8, 9. I started proper boxing when I was 16. Before that, yeah, I wasn't really training. I was just messing about in my garden with gloves. I went to the boxing gym when I was 16. I went to my amateur club when I was 17, and I had my first fight as a senior when I was 17. Back then, as soon as when you were 17, you turned senior. So I had one fight, I think, as a junior at 16, and then I turned 17, I had my first senior fight, and just take it from there, man.
How many fights did you have as an amateur?
As an amateur, I had about 36, 36, yeah.
Very nice. And your style, is it still sort of the amateur style, or have you built more of a style going into the pros?
No, do you know, even as an amateur, I mean, amateur records, usually a lot of amateur kids are 50-50. I won quite a bit of my amateur fights. I only lost a handful. I lost about five of them, five, six of them. And I won the nationals. I won the under 20s. Literally, I got to the semi-finals of the ABAs, the elites, but I I knocked the guy over, but I got cut my eye. And in the amateurs, as soon as you get cut, they just stop the fight. So I knocked the guy over, round two, round three, I gave him a pace. And at the end of the fight, they looked at me and they goes, you can't carry on to the next stage because you fight day after day after day. And they just said, no, you can't fight tomorrow. So the other guy got the decision. But yeah, I've got way more pro style. I got like low hands. I like sharp shooting, walking my opponents into my shots. I try being slick, but yeah, man, I could box. I like to I like to box sometimes long and sometimes I don't mind sitting on the inside a little bit.
Nice. And what's your first memory of boxing?
My first memory of boxing, probably my debut. I boxed in Wycombe Wanderers Stadium on my home show. Just battered the guy. It's good memories, man.
Very nice. And you say you're Slough based. We've
Yeah.
actually got a few boxers that are not too far away from there, and we're looking to put a show close there this year. So is that something you'd be interested in?
Oh, lovely, man. Yeah, man. Like in Slough, there's quite a few popular boxes in Slough, but I'm proper homegrown. Everyone knows me. I grew up in the streets. I grew up on the bins. So everyone knows me from being that guy in Slough, growing up in Slough. So I bring a lot of the Slough community. We have your call 200 odd people every single fight. For my debut, I did about 500, 600, and yeah, we get loads of tickets. So yeah, and if there was something in Slough, I'd lock it off, man. I'd shut it down. It'd be really, really good. I'd definitely be on that.
Yeah, we'd love to have that.
Mm.
Obviously, we've got to talk about. We're saddened to hear of the passing of your brother last year. I think you were
Yeah,
due to be on a show,
yeah, yeah.
and then that happened. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? And I understand you're now obviously fighting in honor and in memory of him as well.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. I'm always willing to talk about it because every time I can talk about it and raise awareness, I'm more than happy to do it. What happened to him should never happen again. Sorry, he was a victim of knife crime. He was like me. He was a boxer. He trained with me. He used to run with me. I used to call him, used to pick him up for training. Literally, he was a fighter. He worked at the airport. He wasn't a professional. Or, he was an amateur. He was just taking over. He used to fight every now and then. He loved it. But yeah, the youth nowadays, they can't, they haven't got confidence in their hands, so they're all picking up the knives, and they think if they walk around with knives, it makes them invincible. But literally, it's like I don't know if I can say this, but if you pick a knife up, you're a pussy, man. I lost my brother, my little brother, a fuck, it's a knife crime, man. We have a gym in Slough, and literally what we do is we have people hand their knives into us. Sometimes they come in, we're like, "Do you want to train with us?" They come, they empty their pockets, empty their bags. We don't one of the guys that takes it to place. They know we grew up the same as them, so we put it to the side, we get rid of it, and we just tell them like, if I see you with the knife again, you're never training. So man, our whole like upbringing in the Slough area, we were trying to get rid of this, like, trying to get rid of the knives. And then it's sad because our own brother, he got taken by a knife crime, but it just motivates us more to, carry on doing what we're doing.
No, it's sad to hear, but it's a great initiative having that in the gym as well. Um,
No, for sure, man.
Obviously, you fighting in his honor as well. Where do you think your career can get to, and where are you planning this year to get to?
This year, like I said, like I'm not just here just to stack numbers up and keep, I want to do something with this and I want to get as far as I can. My aim since the start has been titles. So literally whatever title I can get my hands on, if it's whatever title is, I don't want to say anyone in particular because I don't want to miss any, but I know they've got like a whole bunch of titles, like the regional titles, and then you get like the international titles and whatnot. Whatever comes my way, man, I'm more than willing to have a go and see how good I actually am.
Very nice. Um, just one of the last ones. Then, obviously, you said to bring a crowd.
Yeah.
That crowd, what can they expect at your call on March 3rd?
You're cool. Do you know what? Last time round, I was so disappointed in myself. Everyone said, "No, you boxed really well. You got the win. You boxed." But I know how I usually box, and I wasn't like I usually box. I boxed. I mean, I boxed to my standards. I'm a biggest critic, and I boxed good. I didn't box too bad, but I got hit way too much. I got jabbed way too much. I got caught way too much. Before getting into the fight, I was a bit poorly. I wasn't obviously I was poorly. Like I said before, I don't want to dwell in the past too much and just pull out excuses. But this time around, I want to go in there, and I'm just saying I want to produce a devastating knockout. I want to. I'm not going to say I'm knocking out round one or round two, but if the knockout's there, I'm going to take it, and I want to box. I want to box really well this time.
Very nice. Lastly, I
Hopefully,
know it
man.
really matters at this grassroots level as well. Do
Yeah.
you want to shout out any sponsors as well?
Yeah, do you know what? I've got, to be fair, I've got one, two sponsors that have been with me since the start. I've got a few more that are joining the journey now, but I can't really shout them out just yet because they haven't joined the team just yet. But there's a few. There's my strength and conditioning coach. Big shout out to him. I want to shout out Hijama, yeah, especially Hijama specialist. He does like my hijama and my cupping and my massages. He's been helping me from since the amateurs. And anyone else is there? No. And there's obviously my Jim Kayani camp, the one that I run, and also Become Warriors. And big shout out to my coach, Stuart. He's been there with me since the amateurs too. We've been working well together. So yeah, hopefully we just keep building, get more sponsors on board, and we could take the UK by storm soon, man. Hopefully.
Nice, man. Nice. Well, look, I'll leave it there. You have a good evening and look forward to seeing you March 3rd and hopefully seeing you on our shows throughout the year as well.
Oh, definitely, man. I'm more than welcome. But thank you for the phone call, or the Zoom call, should I say? And hope to speak to you guys soon.
Cheers, man. Speak soon.
Thank you.